So right here I've got the blue fabric for this blouse. I also have to cut the yellow fabric out. I'll do that next. The blue portion of this blouse is going to be the front bodice, back bodice, cuff, and this is button placket. The yellow portion of the blouse is going to be next, but I have to lay this fabric out and these pattern pieces out as most efficiently as possible, so just give me a second to do that. Let's go get your supper. So first I'm going to work on all the pieces that are yellow. The first one being the collar. Now I'm going to do a really narrow top stitch along the edges of this collar. Okay, I'm working on the button placket, and this is literally all of my yellow pens holding down these gathers. This took like an hour and a half to do, and I still have to do the other side of this. But I have to stitch this down first, because I need to harvest my pins, because I can't do it without more pins, and they're all right there. Now I put the blade down right here so I don't accidentally cut into any of these pins. Next I'm going to sew my darts, which are the front bodice darts, and then this is the back bodice darts. These are bust darts, and these are the shoulder darts. The next step is to sew the shoulder seams, and then the side seams. The next step is to attach the collar and the sleeves. For the sleeves, I'm going to sew a gathering stitch from here all the way around to here, gather it, and then put it in the sleeve. Same with that. And for the collar, I'm just going to sew it on like a normal collar. And after that, the next step is to hem the bottom of the shirt and to sew the buttons and open the buttonholes. And that's it. I might as well sew some snaps underneath these daisy flowers because the shirt is going to want to open here, because I didn't put any buttonholes on top of the daisy flowers because I did not want to put stitches through these flowers. So I might do a snap underneath. But gotta attach the sleeves and the collar. Next is the most nerve-wracking part of this project, which is opening the buttonholes. Because you literally cannot go back. That's why you need to always have a sharp one of these. do this with a dull seam rubber. It's not worth the risk of ripping open your fabric past the end of your buttonhole. This part is really satisfying. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only have 13 buttons. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, that means I cannot open the bottom buttonhole because I only have 3 buttons. I have 3 buttons on each sleeve. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So let's just put in this one. Maybe I can find a different button for the top. I found my solution to the button problem. I'm going to use this little daisy button. It doesn't quite match the palette, but it'll be just fine. So sewing buttons is super easy. I've got them all marked out. I'll do 2 different types of buttons because I have 2 different types of buttons. One, this is called a shank button. And I always like to tie my string to my button before I go get started. And then you just stitch it on. Keep in mind that the bigger your base or width of your stitches here, the less likely the buttons are to pull out in the future, but they don't look as neat and tidy. So you just have to find the balance. And I like to double my thread when I sew this. So currently I have 4 threads sewing this button in. And I just put as many threads as I feel is necessary. Then you wrap it around the shank at the bottom. Then I just do a little stitch like this, go in the side through the shank, and then do that again, go inside through the shank. And then I bury the needle and pull it out and cut the thread. Now, if you have a lot of buttons right next to each other, you can just tunnel to the next button. This is very commonly done on suit coat sleeves, but I find that it takes a lot of thread, and for me, it's just better that I cut the thread between buttons. It wastes less thread. Okay. Again, I'm going to make this tail a little smaller so it doesn't stick out from underneath the button. And now this button has a direction, and I want this little hump at the top. And most of the time when you do these buttons with four holes, you do a crisscross pattern. But it's up to you. You can do a parallel stitch pattern. And I like to go through each buttonhole 3 times at least, just to make sure there's enough strength. But if you lose track, it's not a big deal. And again, you wrap it around the shank, 1, 2, 3, and you go like this through the shank, 1, 2, then you bury the needle, and cut the thread. I just gotta do that 12 more times off camera because I'm not gonna do this and waste the footage. Yeah, and that's the last part. Next time you'll see the shirt, I'll be wearing it. Whoa! So here's the final shirt. I had a lot of fun making it. I love the colors. Yellow, blue, daisies. Perfect. Yeah, I made this really quick. But I am behind schedule, so if this comes out late, I'm sorry, and thanks for bearing with me. I love the ruffles along the button placket. I love the buttons. I love the cuffs. I love the voluminous sleeves. It's just marvelous. One thing that these shirts do is the colors like going like that. So I'm gonna have to sew some snaps down or tack the colors down. I might just sew them down. So they don't go like. So thanks so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video for you guys. Big shout out to my 30 subscribers. See you in a couple of weeks. Bye! Butterscotch says thank you.